The world drops away beneath me, and for a split second, I'm weightless. The wind slams against my face, and everything's a blur. Just blue sky and glittering water in the distance. My heart is somewhere up near my throat, pounding like a drum, and I'm pretty sure I forgot how to breathe. But all I can think is, this is it. This is the wildest thing I've ever done. Hey, it's Alex. I'm in Dubai. This place is like if someone gave Las Vegas steroids and added a side of cultural history. They don't do anything by halves here. If there's a record to break or a skyscraper to build, Dubai's like, sure, but let's make it taller, shinier, and throw in a fountain show for good measure. I land here thinking I'll just take it easy, explore the city, get a few cool Instagram shots, and maybe eat some shawarma. But then I remember that this is Dubai, where taking it easy means something completely different. I figure I'll ease into things by heading to the Burj Khalifa. In case you didn't know, this is the world's tallest building at 2,717 feet. So naturally, I hop in an elevator that zooms up 124 floors in about the same time it takes me to decide whether I want extra fries with my burger. Up at the top, I step out onto the observation deck, and I'm amazed at what I see. It's like the whole city has shrunk into a tiny Lego set, and I'm Godzilla, about to trip over a skyscraper. I can see the whole city, the shoreline, and the desert. That's where I want to go next. So now, I'm on a desert safari. You can get different packages and experiences, but if you're out in the desert, I say you do the whole shebang. I go for the full experience, which starts with quad biking. Boy, do I love this! I'm on a quad bike and I am absolutely racing through the sand, swerving others, circling around, having the time of my life. I know that this moment right here will be locked into my memories forever. Next on my desert safari experience is dune bashing. Now, I've seen enough movies to think I know what dune bashing is. Spoiler alert, I don't. Let me tell you, dune bashing in the Arabian desert is basically like being on a roller coaster, but instead of a track, it's just a giant pile of sand, and instead of safety rails, it's, well, nothing. You're at the mercy of a driver who has clearly made it his mission to make you scream, and scream I do. 1 minute I'm in a 4x4, and the next, the driver has us flying over dunes like he's auditioning for a Fast and Furious spinoff. I'm just in the back seat holding on for dear life and wondering if it's possible to sweat through a seatbelt. I'm getting tossed around like a rag doll, while the driver laughs. Luckily, I can hardly hear my screams over the sound of my ego shattering. By the time we stop, I'm dizzy, sandy, and seriously impressed with myself for not throwing up. I'm buzzing with adrenaline now and can't wait to see what more is in store with this package. Next up is camel riding. If you've never ridden a camel before, let me give you a heads up. It's like trying to balance on a wobbly, grumpy couch that occasionally spits. I managed to get on the camel without falling off, which, considering my track record so far, feels like a win. But halfway through the ride, my camel decides to sit down, and I'm pretty sure it's because he knows I'm not cut out for this. After the camels, I do some sandboarding. I surprisingly managed to slide down a hill of sand and see the most gorgeous sunset in my life. The tricky part is the walk back up, which feels like an eternity, but feels so surreal when I take a moment to see how bright the orange glows in the sky. Now we head to this traditional Bedouin-style camp. There's food, henna, and even a falcon that quite frankly looks more majestic than I ever will. I try a dish called Harees, which is basically slow-cooked meat and wheat. It's the kind of delicious food that sticks to your ribs and makes you forget that you're still shaking sand out of your shoes. I wash it all down with some Karak chai, which is a tea that's spiced and sugary enough to make me forget how much my thighs ache from the camel. This whole experience is unique and unforgettable. I definitely recommend a desert safari experience if you're out here in Dubai. The next day, I think I've earned a little relaxation, so I head to Mer Beach, a trendy, relaxing spot. There's colorful street art, beachside cafes, and just enough luxury to make me feel like I belong here, for about 5 minutes. I grab a shawarma from a food truck, sit back, and try to look relaxed. But really, I'm just trying not to sunburn. Dubai's sun doesn't play around, so if you're here, slather on that sunscreen or you'll be lobster red faster than you can say Atlantis, the Palm. Speaking of Atlantis, after my beach day, I head over to Palm Jumeirah for a look at this insane man-made island shaped like a palm tree. It's ridiculously cool from the ground, but I'm about to get an even better view, one I wasn't exactly prepared for. But there's still a little more adrenaline to chase before my main event, so I make my way to the Dubai Marina for a dhow cruise. Now, when I hear dhow, I think of an old wooden boat that might fall apart at any moment, but this dhow is decked out like a floating palace. We sail past glittering skyscrapers and luxury yachts that make me feel like I'm in a Bond movie, if Bond had no coordination and kept tripping over his own feet. The marina is flashy and all, but I'm craving something a little more off the beaten path. That's when I hear about the Alserkal Avenue Art District. It's in this industrial area that's been turned into a hipster paradise, with galleries, cafes, and studios. I walk around pretending to understand contemporary art, but honestly, I'm just here for the coffee. They've got some seriously cool spots though, and it's a nice break from all the skyscrapers and sand. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, skydiving. Remember that bit about me falling through the air at the beginning? Yeah, that's me jumping out of a plane over the Palm Jumeirah. It's funny how confident I was when I signed up for it. How bad could it be? I thought. Turns out, pretty bad, especially when you're staring out of a perfectly good airplane, wondering why you agreed to throw yourself out of it. But once I'm falling, it's all adrenaline. The world rushes by in a blur, and for a second, it's just me, the sky, and the ocean far, far below. As the parachute finally opens, I can actually start to take in the view. The Palm Jumeirah looks unreal from up here. A man-made island shaped like a palm tree, surrounded by the sparkling Arabian Gulf. By the time I hit the ground, I'm shaking, but not dead. Small victories. As my trip winds down, I decide to squeeze in one last stop, the Point at Palm Jumeirah. It's a little less crowded than the Dubai Mall, and there's a fountain show that claims to be the largest in the world. Because, of course, Dubai can't just have a regular fountain show. I grab a seat, order some machbous, fragrant rice and meat, and watch as the water dances to the music. It's the perfect way to end my trip. So, what have I learned from my time in Dubai? Well, for one thing, I've learned that camels hate me. Skydiving is way scarier than it looks, and Dubai is a city where go big or go home isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. I leave with a few bruises, a lot of sand in my shoes, and some of the best stories of my life. And hey, I didn't die skydiving, so I'd call that a win. Are you thinking of taking a trip to Dubai? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more like this. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and adventure aloud.